All right, everybody, we are back for round 18 of the Crescent City Cup between Carl Johnson and Ben Schoenbrun. And we've got a treat for you on the stream. The last couple TWL games from yesterday was me, Will Anderson, and Morris Greenberg, my co-commentator. And joining us in the booth today, so to speak, is Conrad Bassett-Bouchard. So we've got a three-headed monster of commentary coming at you. Hi, guys.
Hello.
How's it going?
So
good to hear you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is going to be these two guys have pretty much been in the top 5 for almost the entire tournament, and it's looking like it's coming down to a showdown between the two of them and maybe a couple other contenders in the standings. But I think it's a given that this game's going to be pretty good, and it looks like Carl is off with his first rack here.
Yeah, and I think another thing is that we saw 4 games in total of these two players yesterday, I believe, and we saw Carl win 2 games and Ben win 2 games, and we haven't seen either one lose. So
Interesting.
That's going to now change because as you get closer and closer to the end of the tournament, the better players who keep winning just start to play each other more.
It's interesting because neither of them are in first place currently.
Oh yeah, who's in front? So what is this? Let's do a standings check.
Yeah, so in first place is Carl's longtime friend and clubmate from Portland, Oregon, Mike Baker.
Wow.
Benji's hanging around just a few spread points behind, also sitting at 13-4. And then Oakland, California, resident Jack Norman, 12-5, and Carl is also 12-5. And a few people hanging around at 11-6 as well.
Yeah, and we saw all 4 of the top 4 placed players yesterday, and they were all playing great plays for most of the day. We only saw maybe 1 or 2 mistakes, so they're all playing in prime form, and it should be really great to see these last few games of them. And let's actually turn to Carl's rack now. So he has EEORTUZ, and this is a situation where you have 1 scoring tile and a bunch of lower point tiles. So you're going to want to maybe score with your Z now, but also keep a decent leave to try to go for bingos in the future.
Yeah, it really is between 0 and Z, not having, as Aaron points out, not having Taos available to him in this game. He has to pick between those 2 plays. Not sure which I would favor. What do you guys think between 0 and Z? Carl chose 0.
Yeah, I mean 0 just gives less back if there's no S on his opponent's rack. I think one of the key things there is to just don't spend too much time. That's the kind of like close play that you could easily spend 4 or 5 minutes just debating. Just pick one and go with it because you're going to want the time later.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think it's so really close. Certainly on your first rack when you have no idea other than body language what Benji might have. I'm not sure I would want to read Benji's body language. That's like a foreign language to me.
Benji usually know if things aren't going well. So maybe you can infer that if things aren't not going well.
Well, I mean, Benji is one of the friendlier players. I wouldn't want to, be reading anything into his behavior, but he, playing Benji, if he draws something bad, he might badly he's drawn, which I like that about him. I'm not going to be too cutthroat with that information.
Well, do you think he'll try pewing? Remember someone once played pewed against you?
Yes, I do. That was kind of a low stakes phony. It didn't really affect much other than spread, I don't think.
Yeah.
Yes, that was none other than Conrad Bassett-Bouchard, who went on in that tournament where he played pewed to become the national champion.
Wow.
So, basically, the only time I've ever heard of someone play that phony, they became the champion. So, good success rate.
So by that logic,
if he tries this phony and gets it challenged, yeah.
Which he will. If he plays it, it will get challenged off.
Yeah, Carl will call it off for sure. Very good word knowledge he has.
I guess, are there any other options that you see besides pew? It looks like he's really considering pew right now, but maybe do you consider something short like vow to go for bingos, or? Would you go for the points now with
I
Q?
think the problem with VOW is that, yeah, you're going for bingos, but like a lot of the bingos you're going to draw aren't going to play.
Yeah, it's just not going to play enough. Yeah, if you play VOW and Carl has an A, it's probably you're getting no lanes at all, right? If any play ending in A forming a VOW makes an S hook it continues to be an S hook that you don't have, and it blocks your lanes. And there down comes Pew, which I think we agree that's the way to go here.
Yeah. I'm going to go out on a limb, by the way, for the first play and say that ZEE was better.
I actually agree for a few reasons. One is that at that point in the game, ROUT versus UTE isn't that big a difference, but having a few extra floaters at the beginning of the game could really change the impact of what occurs, right? So ZEE, 2 E's doesn't really change the difference of what kinds of bingos Ben could have.
Mm-hmm.
And then also the S lane's pretty dangerous as well.
Mm-hmm. And ROUT is kind of like a variant leave. You can draw a lot of bingos with that.
That's really true, especially with
at least it's balanced. Yeah, I mean, at least it has a little balance. The letters are, the U notwithstanding, somewhat bingo prone, and you do only give 2 floaters as opposed to 4. So there's some advantages. Also, the S hook isn't as damaging.
Yeah.
So
also, Ute is just kind of ugly.
Yeah, Ute is ugly. 0 gets 2 more points and keeps the E. I guess those are the benefits. But it's so close. You definitely just want to go with your gut. Hope that your gut was right, and keep your time.
Yeah.
But of course, making the exact, precisely winning percentage best plays in those situations does add up over time. So Bio goes down. Seems okay.
Yeah,
what else
Bio
could
looks
he have played
as well.
I mean, Zebu leaving point.
Yeah, say no Zobu available.
Yeah, Zobu would be, exactly. But I think this is okay.
Again, it's just one of those situations. Don't waste too much time.
Yeah, this is just like a waiting move. Hope your rack matures into something good. Maybe pick an S. I don't know. It's tricky. I don't think there's anything here that would blow Bio away.
Yeah.
So it's, feeling each other out in the early going.
Yeah.
Benji does not have a great rack at all to deal with this board.
Yeah, and we're getting a suggestion from the comments to play Verger, Virger.
That looks really good.
That looks like the play. I think it'd be hard pressed to find something much better.
Yeah, you don't even give the triple back with that play, so.
And one thing to keep in mind with Benji, and I say this totally like understanding and empathizing, is he does get nervous in these situations. This is a big deal to him right now, and sometimes he will play a bit fast and get a tiny bit rattled as he's trying to kind of find his place in each game, especially given that he lost his first game today.
Interesting. So Benji actually goes with Ring.
Ring inferior to Verger, but it sets up trope, I guess. If you're not seeing Verger, then it's among kind of a crummy group of plays. It's 16 points. That's a pretty good score. You're not going to get much more than that. RTV isn't that great, but
it can mature.
And going back to the point that Connor was saying about Benji could play a bit fast, we actually saw this yesterday. There was a somewhat complex endgame he had to solve, and he had a lot of time left. And we're not sure if he solved it really quickly, much faster than us and people in the chat, or if he just went with his gut right away, sort of. So that's definitely a storyline to monitor throughout this game and maybe even the next few games if we continue.
Yeah, my thinking as we were thinking about that position more is that was a clear time rush scenario because his opponent in that game, Jack Norman, was really down low on his clock. So I feel like Benji decided to sacrifice perfect accuracy with his pre-end game to try to time rush Jack and made a pretty good play given that. But I was, when he made his play in the pre-end game in that game, I was just shocked. I couldn't believe he played so fast. So it might have been a little bit just like, all right, this looks pretty good. Cross my fingers. Hope I win, and it worked out.
I wonder if he knows that about Jack, because Jack is one of my sparring partners in the Bay Area, and I've run him over on time, I think, 4 out of the last 5 games we played.
Wow.
Including last week. Yeah,
but
actually
Jack's doing great though in this tournament, I think, right?
Yeah, he's an excellent player. We just gotta try to get him to play a little bit faster.
Yeah, I mean that'll come in time. I used to be so slow. I've gotten a little bit faster where I don't go over that much, but it just comes with time and dealing with positions enough that you can start to do some shortcuts.
Yeah.
So D-tune, that's a nice overlap. Avery had mentioned in the chat maybe D instead, keeping things tighter. And as you can see, looks like Benji has Traveler through the E of D-tune, so maybe he's going to regret hanging that tile.
Wait, does he? He has 2 R's. Wait, does he have an L? He has 2 T's.
Oh, sorry. He has Traveler. Oh, I see. I got duped.
Yeah.
I got duped by the Benji.
Duped by the upside
Benji
down tiles.
Yeah, my bad. Okay, so he's not going to get hurt. Averter is certainly way better than a bingo to see for Carl.
Yeah. So given what I know about Benji and how he's playing right now, he's definitely nervous. And I say this again, completely empathetic, because Scrabble makes me anxious as all heck. But you can tell he's making quick plays.
Yeah, he's going at a pretty rapid pace, even for him.
Yeah.
Not that he's made any plays that are true blunders, but I think we would have seen Verger instead of Ring. We would have maybe seen instead of a Verter. I'm sure there was. I mean, that looks like maybe just Tav or something. I don't know. That looks a little.
And I mean now
aggressive.
Now Carl's going to get the bingo down, and since Carl's such an open board player, like the last thing I'd want to do is fork the board like that, because like Carl has a tougher time on closed boards, and to give him this like wide open thing is kind of it's his bread and butter. He's great at it. And of course, this opens the spot for Picador, which I don't think would have wouldn't have happened with perhaps a shorter play. But it's possible that Benji's just kind of going for variance and kind of hoping that it's on his side to try to get any given game started, since he plays Magic the Gathering as well, which is a possibly more variant game than Scrabble. So
I guess it's fair. Yeah, it is fair to say that Benji is maybe a slight underdog, but really not enough that, in my opinion, that he should just be throwing caution to the wind here. He's not a big underdog. He should give himself a little more credit.
And Carl hasn't played much, for years. I mean, in his prime, Carl's just an incredible, certainly a word machine. Before this Will guy came along, it was Carl.
Yeah, Carl's got a different thing going than me, where I just have I'm quick on 7s and 8s, but it seems like Carl's word knowledge extends far beyond that to just words that he has really, the depth of his word knowledge is just greater than mine by a long shot.
Yeah. Carl, two quick tangents on Carl. Before a tournament, he has a list of commonly played phonies that he studies. That way he knows that this list of words, he always reviews them to make sure that he's not playing one of those phonies. And one of the last times I played him in a tournament, I'm playing Carl. I always try to shut the board off on him. I did that. I thought it was all good to go. And then he plays pantheism through like 2 disconnected tiles overlapping 4 letters and wins the game and the tournament. I'm like, all right, well.
Yeah, he'll do that. He will do that.
So he's always fun to play against.
Yeah, and Benji now is playing Inept, which looks like a fine play in this situation.
Yeah, I kind of like it given the situation he's in now. He's losing by almost 100. He can make a play either down at the end of Picador to that triple. He can play something to the top triple. I like what he's chosen to do. He could have played the equity play of just in the top corner, but that's not very good because at a deficit, it really offers no further action into the top left part of the board the way Inept does. So I think I much prefer Benji's play.
Although one thing to monitor is that there have been a ton of E's played for the beginning of the game, right? It looks like they're already 6 on the board.
Half gone.
So it's just something to monitor, right? If you're the E is one of the best tiles for bingoing. It just goes with so many other low point tiles and high point tiles for that matter. So it's just something to monitor. Even though Inept adds more board flexibility, you might need your own rack flexibility at some point.
Yeah. And you'll see here, certainly, I mean, not to use hindsight bias, but he's about one vowel short of a nice bingo hooking groped for about 85 or whatever.
Right.
It'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, he's got to keep ing if he can here, because that is, with the G in hand, the groped hook is like so much better for him. It's almost impossible to imagine Carl playing anything in that spot, whereas for Benji, that's like his lifeline back into the game. So I'm pretty sure he'll try to keep ing together. The question is, where can he do that? I mean, I guess just something like Del. I don't know. I mean, don't like that.
No,
you need ing is so good here.
Yeah, and he's probably trying to isolate the averter hook. Like that's why you would play that over Glad, because I think even Glad is a step up.
Yeah, I'm preferring something like Del or Lead or anything. I mean, the great thing about keeping INGS is that plays there too. If you draw something that is plural in that spot, it's still going to fit with groped. So it's really no downside to leaving INGS here. So a little bit of a mistake. Let's see what happens.
Well, he at least did draw bingo in 2 spots, so he will stay alive at least.
Okay, yes. So he did, yes.
But they're both going to open up huge plays for Carl. So
yeah, although it depends on also what Carl will do here. I mean, at this point, there isn't a ton available that doesn't even give the possibility of opening something. So it'll be interesting to see how Carl sort of decides to play this move, right? He's a very open player, so he might just continue to say, hey, you know what, let's just keep this open. So there's a chance that Carl might give something to Benji.
Yeah, and one thing to keep in mind is to recognize Avery's suggestion of Ahi here. While that might be an interesting play normally, Carl's about 400 or 500 spread back on Mike and Ben. So I think it's in Carl's best interest, especially if he does pick up on Benji being nervous or something, that he wants to keep the board super open here, because he needs that spread. He can still win the tournament from a win standpoint, but if he's able to get 100, 200 spread off of Ben here, that's huge for him. So I think he's going to opt to leave the board open as he can.
Well, he has an option that looks like a good equity play that would actually burn him terribly through the R, the first R of Averter. I think he can play Marvy for leaving Job. It scores 27, but of course Benji is going to come back with a massive bomb off of that. So not sure which direction he'll go.
I mean,
you want to use the J up here, but
sure.
It's hard to see where. I guess jab. I don't know. That's pretty uninspiring.
And also from Carl's perspective, it isn't especially obvious Benji is close to a bingo here. He just played off 3 consonants, so even though they're all low points, it's unclear what Benji's range would really be to suggest I need to play really conservatively here.
Well, I mean, it's been a really long. Benji hasn't played a tile worth more than 2 points since the first game, so we know he's keeping something bingo-ish. I mean, a little more credit than usual to have something low pointy and bingo-y, given that he's played Ring, Averter, Inept, and
I guess that's true, yeah.
I mean, that's pretty. Yeah, that's pretty. It indicates he definitely has not been holding anything low, high point. So
I think you can pretty safely assume after Geld that he probably has an S, because if he's willing to block that E,
great point.
That's a really important lane. So he must have some sort of strength. So he's probably got an S or the other blank. So I could definitely see that from Carl's point of view. And Carl tends to be a bit of a fatalist in that, like, when some sort of big line gets open, and he's got a big lead, it might, he might get the bingo down. So I feel like knowing how Carl kind of approaches Scrabble, the mental game, I would not be surprised if he saw the opportunity that Benji would have an S having played Geld and would avoid opening the big hook right now.
Sure.
That's just sort of the Carl that I have played against many times. I could see him being more conservative here.
Makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense.
But there's just so few options that maybe he will just play it.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's the best equity play by a fair margin. I give him that, but
yeah,
it's gonna bite him pretty hard.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the time that works out really well. Benji doesn't draw the bingo. And Carl's still sitting on, a J and a blank.
Yeah, he'll still be in the lead. He'll still be ahead. He still has a J and a blank. Let's see.
Oh God! Look at!
Oh my God! I can't believe. Well,
is it only played Collins?
No, this is a TWL word. I think the brutal.
No, but where does it? But it
I don't think it's gonna fit. Yeah,
it only fits in Collins. Oh no!
Oh man, that's amazing.
No.
So we've got a bit of a word that might not be kosher for the broadcast as a bingo that Carl has. It's not going to play, so we don't have to belabor the point too much. But wow, that would be amazing if he played that.
So the dojo's going to come down fast, which is probably good for Carl.
Yeah, I guarantee that Carl saw that word, quickly saw that it doesn't play, went with dojo, and he has a G, which is a great pick because now he's got a blank and a G to play with groped if he gets the right draw here. So he's still in great shape despite Benji hammering that spot.
Yeah,
and that's a really good point. At this point in the game, we see the bottom of the board developing more and more, and that will mean by the end of the game that roped hook could become even more vital. And so Carl has the last G in the game.
Yeah. Case G in one of the blanks, right?
But I think it might go away here now if Benji goes for Kwai. I mean,
ooh, right. That's
true.
Definitely the play for him.
Yeah, I mean, unless he just insta plays Quack or something. But I think if he decides he wants to keep that hook open or something, but
I think,
but he should recognize that KA will be hanging around for next turn.
Yeah, I'm definitely favoring playing the Q, playing Quay in that nice spot right above ring. I think it's just better. It scores well, blocks off that hook, which he doesn't have, leaves the K, as you said, for a minimum of 35 plus points next turn. So looks pretty good.
And it looks like Benji's taking more time this turn. I feel like I often do that too after a bingo, and I get back to basically caught up with my opponent. I want to regroup and sort of think about what's my outlook now that I've gotten through the catch-up phase.
Things have changed. So there's nothing like an 100-point bingo to settle you down a little bit if you're feeling nervous. So down comes what we think is definitely the best play here of Quay.
And there's a Collins bingo here for sure. I don't
know this one.
Pretty sure it's not TWL. I don't know if Carl would know abusage, but
interesting. Yeah, I don't know that one either from my Collins study. But
Will, do you know if you added an F to that rack or an E? AABEFGSU. Peter Armstrong taught us last night in Collins. But since we have plenty of Collinsers watching, this is just a great one.
I don't know. It's I don't know this one.
Does anybody know AABEFGSU in the crowd? It's an excellent word.
Interesting.
It looks like we got a response already in the chat from Physics is Fun.
Yeah, Alf Games.
Wow.
We just learned that one last night. Just an excellent word.
That's amazing. I'm sure Gabe Wong knows about that.
It is an excellent word.
That was the first thing I thought too.
So it's Carl's turn now, and he has a lot of different options here. Saber,
tricky move here. Yeah, I mean, my eye is drawn to the spot above La Wines to play that B. I mean, it's scores a good number of points. The trick is what to play.
Yeah.
There.
I mean, you could certainly go for the points, but maybe
So
if Carl's
you could
feeling
play-
desperate, I don't know.
Yeah, ABBA.
I think
Yeah.
you go for ABBA because you got 2 S hooks that you're hanging around with.
Yeah, averters and the spot under inept are, I mean, those are really not getting taken very much. Like, it just doesn't, I guess maybe averters would get taken with a play down to the triple, starting with I from Lewines. Like, that's the only scoring play that looks like it could potentially get in the way.
Benji.
And Carl actually goes with Gab, which I actually might like more. It gives him another possible spot at this point.
But he doesn't. I don't think he needs the extra spot. He's still up 30 with S blank.
That's fair. That's fair.
But now that Benji has fake sex.
Yeah, very nice. Rack arrangement here by Benji. Thanks for that little message to us all.
And Benji is a experienced Twitch streamer, so he knows.
Yeah, he's playing to the crowd.
Yeah.
And we love that. So yeah, I think it seems pretty clear that he'll play something like Fax under Lewines. I don't know. That looks okay. I guess he could. There are other spots he could play. I like Fax a lot because he just drew an S. You're making an S hook again. In addition, you're not, blocking the averter's hook. You're making a better one.
Yeah, and of course it will come back to bite him this time. But
yeah, it actually looks like Fax if he were to play it. Oh, he doesn't play it.
Wow.
Kex is interesting. So
wow,
that's just an interesting choice. I don't think it's that much worse. I think I'd probably opt for Fax, but
yeah. Does maybe turnover is part of his decision making at this point because there aren't that many tiles left and both blanks are unseen. So it could be that he's thinking turning over the extra 2 tiles is worth it in this situation.
So I see the bingo with the H with this rack.
Yeah.
That will play, that Carl will probably get to. Kex's did drop Medusae in that spot under Lewines, which that would have scored very nicely. And
yeah, Amu is certainly tempting.
Amu is, pretty good, actually. As I look at it, it seems like it's not that bad to have Ka in the triple lane. It's going to yield, I don't know, every now and then it'll yield between 30 and 45 points of a score. It doesn't look like it's going to be like triple-triple-able very easy.
Yeah.
So maybe Amu leaving EES blank is the way to go here. And that being said, I can't fault him too much if he goes for the bingo either. But he's going to get hit pretty hard off of that if he plays Heumes and averters.
Yeah.
Let's see if the definition bot can work here.
And I think he's cognizant of that. I mean, it's so easy to get hit big, and he's keeping EES blank into a pool that is, not bad for EES blank.
With 2 bingo lanes open still. It's not like there's only 1 spot left. You have 2 spots left, so.
Yeah, and we also recognize that, and he can pretty safely assume that Benji probably just imploded his rack.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for him to have kept something. I mean, you could have kept almost anything after Kex's from Carl's point of view. So
he's playing Heumes for the super defensive spot.
Interesting. He sacrificed a bunch of points, and that might be the way to go if he's going to bingo, right? I think maybe Amu would just work out better for him more often. But if he's determined to bingo, which is a defensible choice, it's probably better to sacrifice points up there because the lane created after the averter's hook is just so dangerous.
It's pretty rough, yeah.
So I like that idea if he's going to bingo.
This could really be a defining move in the game. I mean, even though it seems like all these options are great, depending on what your opponent has, some of these options could just completely backfire. And that makes it such a scary turn often because you're often thinking about what in the world is my opponent keeping here? What could they have? And but really all these plays that both bingos and Amu, they're all great plays.
So Benji is now losing, but really not by much. That if he plays something like Fid underneath Kex's, he's going to be right there with Carl. It's not out of reach, except for that Carl has just drawn the blank and most of the good scoring tiles left.
Yeah.
So Benji's going to need to get a natural bingo, which he surely can do with that S.
I mean, you might see Cave, but if he spazzes and plays Calves for some reason, then we'll see Showfroth go down for like 100 something.
Oh, God. That would be amazing.
But I think he'll find Cave before... I just spoiled that one. Sorry. I'm sure he would play Cave before he played...
Is Shofroth good, or I thought Half Torah is going to be the...
No, it would be Half Torah.
Oh, it's Half Torah, of course.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm sure there's Half Toroth as a 9.
Yes.
Sure.
But I suspect if... unless Benji spazzes and plays Caps, in which case Shofroth scores like... Shofroth, sorry. I'm being bad at my pronunciation. Okay, he's going to play Cave.
Just plays Calf.
No, he's playing Cave.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that play.
No, that's a good play there.
Totally fine. Along with Fid, they seem pretty close. Cave has the advantage of preserving the E a little bit.
Yeah,
you're holding a D after Cave, so you can get verbs ending in ED rather. So it seems fine. Carl has plenty of scoring punch here. Doesn't look like he's got any.
Ooh, Benji.
Ooh, Darnest Stander. Yeah. So Benji's drawn something
two spots.
Gonna hit no matter what. Yeah. So this is gonna be an exciting finish here.
Yeah.
And so there are five tiles in the bag also. So this is a situation for Carl where he's probably going to play 4 or fewer tiles.
Yeah.
5 or fewer tiles. Just so he doesn't empty the bag. So
he's also probably going to keep the also hook alive. I just realized that I was making a stupid pun as I said that, but
ooh,
I think he might try to avoid FOH here if he can, although that may just be the best play, in which case he'll just play it.
I was also thinking maybe Hoof at the top of the board underneath Hayum's might be a way to cut that triple lane off a bit. If it, you're cutting off the row 1 and you're completely blocking row 3 if you play Hoof up there.
Yeah,
of course, it does use both O's, which you'd like to keep one with also, but if you're judging that top area of the board to be the biggest threat in terms of the scores Benji can get with a bingo, that might be a way to really reduce the amount of stuff that he can play.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any chance he could burn the blank here with something like Booth there for a few extra points, or would he go with Hoof every situation?
Ooh, well, where is he gonna? If he plays Hoof, does Carl bingo? I mean,
for Benji,
it might block if he were to play Hoof under Hayum. It might block. I mean, unfortunately, Benji's drawn a rack with 2 bingos that don't play with averters.
Yeah,
so it's possible that Carl can dodge it. If he plays Foe, Benji will play Darnest right at the top.
Yeah.
Maybe
Benji will try and darts.
Oh yeah, that's right. And Starmed is good in columns too, I think.
Yeah, there's 4 in that rack.
Yeah.
No, there's just Darnest and Standard TWL. They can keep that apart.
So Carl's got Hoof lined up on his rack, and boy, that is a great play that's saved him a world of hurt here.
Yeah.
Really nice job to that top part of the board, which is easily the biggest threat to him. Of course, there are still things that can fit there, but it's just a lot tougher with the all the parallels being so much more specific.
Yeah. And when you get something like FOH staring you in the face for 29 keeping, a good leave, that's a it's a tough trigger to pull.
Yeah, I like that play a lot. I think that's a really nice job by Carl. So Benji now is going to have to buckle down and figure out what he wants to do here. Obviously, he's got great bingo tiles, but he also has a 2 in the bag situation. So he has to try also to score enough with 1 tile so that his eventual bingo could actually win him the game. So not sure where is his best bet to do that.
I think he wants to go for maybe something that's in the bottom left, if possible.
Sure.
Is there any chance he opens up a spot for Templey?
It's hard to see how he would do that, but that would be cool.
AD.
Yeah.
Underhoof. Going for it, guys, and then
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. I guess dumping the D is going to hit a lot, but the question is, what does the math work out to?
What do you do in the math? What do you do when the math equals the math?
The math equals the math, exactly.
He needs to make the math equal the math here.
Yeah. I mean, he might do just something like add and ED off of the A and E and Kexes or Cafe, just because that spot with all those high-scoring tiles left, that could definitely be a problem area in terms of high scoring.
Mm-hmm.
And so it fits. So he hits. If he fishes the D, he'll hit. We can see that. Obviously, the players don't know this. We know this as the omniscient commentators that UO are the 2 tiles in the bag, and it looks like a fish of the D will hit everywhere. Like he will hit an out bingo if he just plays off his D. Oh, did he just do that, or he has it in his hand?
He's holding it. Yeah.
And he's actually playing. Oh, he decides to play it somewhere else.
He gets a couple extra points for that. So Benji, let's see which of the. He's pulled it back. He's thinking.
I wonder. Is there any chance that Carl passes with 1 in the bag?
That is very possible. It's always hard to think about that. I actually just had a situation the other day with Scotapel over that I passed, and it was correct to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard to open your mind to that possibility sometimes. Actually, I think Carl will probably be attuned to it. The problem is, does he have? Oh, man, the score. If Benji were to play his D where he just laid it down and picked it up. Okay,
it looks like he's going for the clock.
Spot. Yeah, he's played it in a different spot. Interesting. So,
yeah,
he's losing by a little bit less than 40, which is he's probably going to win now with an out bingo unless Carl can score a ton, which I don't know. It's going to be tough. He's got to use his H and his Y.
Can Carl outrun Nature's?
I don't know.
He probably outrun the turns.
Yes, I bet he can do that. But...
yeah. Yeah, I guess Michael can solve this.
What is his best scoring play? If he's going to take the tack to outrun, I don't see a play that he has that's even going to score that well. He can't really go down through the E of Kexes. I'm looking for a nice.
And the chat actually points out the real value of playing odd there. It blocked HYTE directly below it.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, great.
A ton of points.
Which Def would not have.
Def would have just made it stronger. Wow. Benji, pre-endgame pimp, which we know Carl is Carl's pre-endgame pimp.
Carl's nickname.
But Benji is out pimping here. He's the that was a great play, it looks like. Yeah, tough situation for Carl. So we can look at we see that the time is, Carl is now into under 4 minutes, 35 as I speak. So he doesn't have too much time. Benji at 7:34.
And of course, interestingly, if Carl does pass, then Benji just drops XU maybe, and I don't know if he can guarantee, I guess unseen, but I wonder if Benji can still guarantee a win with a fish 1.
That's really interesting.
It looks like
No, I think
the Y.
I hate to be that guy, but yeah, I think it would just be Collins that you could pull it off.
Right, yeah.
Because of the Y.
Trains, right? Yeah, I get that wrong. Tyran instead.
Yeah, it's just Tyran. Yeah,
correct. Yeah, with the E there. Okay.
Yeah. Maybe not quite.
But it's obviously that'll win a lot, and of course in this case it will win.
Yeah.
Wow, brutal. So I'm struggling to even come up with like a blank burning play that's going to try to outrun. I don't think that's going to work for Carl.
Yeah,
there really isn't much. Maybe iron and xi, and oh no, ey is not a word. Never mind.
But maybe Benji won't notice.
Yenta maybe off of the E in Kexes isn't that many points.
I mean, that's a decent number of points, and it blocks a turn. But then Nature's should probably. I mean, it's only 24, so it's just.
It's not going to be
enough.
Like
nothing. Yeah. Wow. That's.
I mean,
Look
Carl
at Benji should go. My God.
Carl should be able to figure out if it's better for him to play or pass here. I mean, it's only 8 racks he has to go through, and really it's fewer than 8 racks because Benji almost certainly had the S.
So Carl has arranged hotly on. Is he going to try to play that with also, just to try to get in the way of averters, and then Saturn will finish it? Yeah, okay. So I actually like that idea, just to cut off as much as possible. But Benji has the good. He has the goods.
Yeah,
that's actually a great idea. I love that idea by Carl.
Yeah, my guess is that.
Well, apparently it wins 50. No, well, I guess it's just if Benji misses a bingo.
Yeah.
In those situations, so.
Wow.
And
what a game.
Benji goes out on the teetotaler with wine.
That's right. Wow. That was a really, really impressive ending to that game, I gotta say.
Did not expect that. After Kexes, I thought that was kind of throwing in the towel a bit, but dang.
So Benji pulls it out in a great, great game.
Yeah.
Pretty well played, and a couple of little tweaks we would have made earlier in the game. And then as soon as it's like the tale of two games, as soon as Benji got his 100-point bingo, he just made a bunch of excellent plays and out bingoed to win.
Yeah. And to note, this effectively takes Carl out of the tournament.
Yeah, that's tough.
And when he's, probably easily of those top 4, Carl might be the best, or certainly close to the best of those 4. To take him out is just huge.
Yeah, that's great for Benji. Really clears his pathway to winning this, which as a Benji head, I would love to see that. But of course, as a commentator, I have to remain impartial. It is my duty. Marvy, that was really interesting. If you could point to any play that Carl would want to have back, obviously that would be the one, right? There's no question.
I think Amu might have been the other possible playing the bingo.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's another one. I think Marvy, confirmation bias would show Marvy to be closer to the difference in this game, but Amu could have made it very different as well.
Yeah, I think Amu is probably like a clear mistake, whereas Marvy's just like,
he just, you just have to decide how much credit you want to give Benji after all those plays, with low point tiles.
And I really think the odds of Benji having an S after Geld, or S or a blank, is like almost guaranteed. So maybe Carl didn't quite give him enough credit. I'm not sure.
If ever there was a time to, maybe that would. So, but either way, these are really nitpicking type things. We just got treated to a really, really nice game of Scrabble. It looks like, according to Kim, they have a really great game on tap next. Probably the game that many of the Collins fans have been waiting for, of Dave Weekend versus Evans Clinchey. And so I believe how it's going to work from here on out is the broadcast team that you're hearing now we're going to be with you for the next 2 games as well, regardless of lexicon. I think we'll be able to adjust.
We are all going to be bilectual the rest of the way.
That's right.
Or at least fake it.
Fake it till you make it, Morris.
That's right.
Well, I'm faking TWL too, so I guess it's
working out okay for you. You as we said, of the 3 of us, 2 of us have been national champions, but only one of us has won this tournament before.
That's right. Morris has something that we crave, and that is the Crescent City Cup championship.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll take a break now, so you can tune in not too long to see a great Collins matchup coming your way. Dave Wiegand versus Evans Clinchey. So tune in soon.